Hello, everyone. Thanks for logging on to CBSColorado.com because we are here to talk about the 2023 Denver Broncos schedule. I am Romi Bean here, joined by Super Bowl 50 champion Ryan Harris in the house. This is crazy, right? Because we know the opponents in, January, but yet such an exciting day.
It is. You get to find out when you're playing the teams that are in your division, when you're playing the primetime games. Also, when the bye week is, week 9, a perfect bye week for your Broncos.
Ooh, you mentioned that. Let's take a look at this schedule right now. So the Broncos are going to open things up with the Raiders, then they're at home against the Commanders. Then they got 2 on the road, the Dolphins and the Bears. That's Vic Fangio there.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to see their old coach. And I'll tell you something else, too. Miami's going to be a team trying to get to the playoffs again. The Commanders just missed the playoffs last year, and you haven't beat the Raiders in 7 games if you're the Broncos. So you got to win. Got to win week 1.
Got to win that. Speaking of haven't won one in a while, how about the Kansas City Chiefs? First primetime game on the slate. That comes week 6, October 12th, a Thursday nighter. Then they got the middle of the schedule and an interesting little nuance we got in the next one. After that bye week that you mentioned, we got back-to-back primetime games. Ryan, we're going to talk about that in a minute, the Bills and the Vikings. And then they wrap up the season, three games on the road in early December, and then they finish it off with home for the holidays. Christmas Eve against the Patriots, New Year's Eve against the Chargers, and one more against the Raiders. So let's digest all of that. You start with the Raiders. 7 games. All right, I don't know if this is a bold prediction, Ryan. I think they're going to sweep the Raiders this season. Am I dreaming?
No, you're not dreaming. That's reality. It just hasn't happened yet. No, but you do want to beat a team like the Raiders in your division, who they haven't won the AFC West either. So you got to start putting together division wins when you want to turn things around. The Broncos have that opportunity week 1.
Okay, we talk about division wins, and we're the Chiefs, right? That's the big elephant in the room. 15 games. They haven't won since you were on the team. Haven't won, actually, since the Broncos have won a Super Bowl sooner than they've
beaten the Chiefs. That's brutal. That's brutal.
That's tough.
The good thing, though, too, is that's a Thursday night game early in the season. Yeah. You want that Thursday night game to be earlier than later, because the later it gets in the season, the less good you feel when that game comes. So you get some things out of the way to start the season, then you get to see the Chiefs at home to start. That's going to be a big deal on Thursday night. That's going to be a fun one to watch and a fun atmosphere for everybody in Broncos country, especially the ones going.
You got 2 Chiefs games in 18 days. You like it that close?
Well, that's typical of the NFL. They typically put 2 games against one of your division opponents right back to back. You do like that because then you know where you stand, right? You're either 2-0 or you're 0-2, or I mean, you've made headway in those 18 days. So hopefully the Broncos can win at least one of those games and get some momentum building in that division, especially after a week 1 win against the Raiders.
So we talk about the Raiders, we talk about the Chiefs, and the Chargers too. Obviously winning in the division, but how important is it, Sean Payton? It's his first season that he establishes dominance in the division.
Well, he wants to start right away. And the other thing, too, is if you're a player on that team, you want to know how Coach Payton reacts in adversity. Great coaches, they do change in adversity, either for the better or for the worse. So as much as players are excited about Coach Payton being here, at some point in that first game, in that first quarter of the season, you're going to see some problems, and Coach Payton's going to have to show consistency and an ability to manage through that kind of struggle, and then the team should be rolling.
It's very interesting. Now, you talk about, obviously, shining in adversity. Maybe shining in primetime wasn't exactly the Broncos' forte. Last year, they went 1-3 in primetime games. We're supposed to have a 5th, but got flexed out. They got 4 this year. Does that speak to the interest of Sean Payton? Are you surprised?
Absolutely. I'm surprised because of the record of the Broncos last year, but this is a regional team. This is a team, the Broncos, that has a lot of eyes on it across the country, but also in the 4 states that are surrounding Colorado. So it's very, you expect it at that point because of Sean Payton, the story, and Russell Wilson. It also tells you the NFL believes Russell Wilson will have a better season. But I'll tell you something, having a Monday night game after a bye week, that's a big deal, too. You get to rest up, some extra time to go against the Patriots, and then you turn it around. You got a Sunday night game at home where Minnesota has struggled on the road. Even though they put together great records, they really struggled traveling. So those are going to be 2 huge opportunities in those 4 primetime games.
That's really interesting because I first saw that and I said, oh, man, you got a span of 6 days between these 2. That's bad, but you're telling me that's actually a good thing.
It's a great thing, especially getting a Sunday night game after a Monday night game. Because that Monday night game in Buffalo, they're going to get back about 5 in the morning earliest, and that's at DIA. Who knows what time they get down to the pillow, right? So you want that extra time. You can change the schedule, especially early in that week, to get some more sleep and then focus in on a big game against Minnesota at home.
All right, Ryan, we haven't really had a chance to talk to you about the Sean Payton era, and one thing that is the topic of conversation right now is the lack of media access. Nothing for the new free agents, nothing for those initial camps. Do you like this? Do you not like this? What do you make of it?
I love it for 2 reasons. First, nobody needs to see the players working out right now. And that's something that changed kind of recently in the last 7, 8 years, where guys are showing you muscles and flexing, and stop it. It's literally made. You're not winning games flexing your muscles. And especially in this day and age, players now, they want social media. It's a question they ask. It's a question that their significant others ask the team now when they come to a team. You're distracted if you're talking about social media before you're doing any kind of work that's respectable for your profession. So I love that Sean Payton's doing that for that reason. Stop that trend of trying to show off in the weight room. Focus on what you have to do. And then the second thing that I love about it is it lets the players focus. Everybody likes to see themselves on television. Everybody likes to see themselves in an Instagram post. But if you're able to just cut that out, now you have a focused team when they're installing their key plays that are going to make them successful this year. And Coach Payton now has the focus of his team.
We got Ryan Harris with us. A couple more. We know you're a busy guy. We appreciate you stopping by. We talked about Vic Fangio. I talked about Josh McDaniels. How did I not ask you about Nathaniel Hackett coming home with maybe the quarterback he wished he had the first time, Aaron Rodgers? What do you think the hype around this game is going to be like?
It's going to be huge, and we are all going to be cheering against him. I feel bad for him already because of what happened last year and the stories that have come out since, how quick he got a job, and now he does have Aaron Rodgers. So he'll pencil that one in too. He'll circle it, and he'll say, oh, I'm not paying attention. Every game's the same. But for the players who are still on the roster that he had, they're going to want to show him that they're doing better without him. And for him, he's going to want to show the entire Broncos country that he's a great coach. He just didn't have the right pieces in place.
Oh, I love it. I cannot wait, Ryan. Last one for you. I'm going to put you on the spot. You got a record prediction.
17-0 in memory of Mr. B. But I'll also say,
love that.
I think you get to 11-6 if you're the Broncos and you got a chance at the playoffs. It's going to be tough, though. The AFC last year was very tough. You're going to have a tough division. You might have 2 teams in both the AFC North and, the AFC South that could be in the playoffs. So it's going to be tough to see what that wild card record looks like. But I like 11-6 for your Broncos.
I love it. I said 11-6 last night, too. This guy, best in the business. Such a treat, Ryan. Thank you for taking the time.
Great to be here.
Guys, thanks so much for joining us on CBS News Colorado. We'll see you next time.